So, hi everyone, welcome to our webinar today. This is Kian, Customer Success Manager at Meeting Assistant, and today I'll be showing some tips on how to collect meeting notes in Salesforce. This webinar today is scheduled for 30 minutes, including the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So before starting the webinar, I will kindly mute all of your microphone, and if you have any questions during the webinar, please type in the chat box on your right hand side. We will try to answer every question together with our Vice President of Sales and co-founder, Mr. Vila Metala today. This webinar is also recorded so that you can watch it later on our webpage. So let's just quickly go through the agenda for today. In the first section, I will just quickly introduce to you guys Meeting Assistant and why do you have to care about this application in Salesforce. And the second, also the main part of today's webinars is the demo, which I will be showing the Salesforce calendar event and Meeting Assistant functionality. So in that demo, you will learn how to collect meeting minutes and update your CRM in a few clicks. I will also show you some tips on managing the notes and customer conversation in Salesforce. So firstly, what is Meeting Assistant? It's basically a Salesforce-based application we design and develop to make meetings easier for employees in sales, consulting, and customer service. And also people who usually juggle between meetings and their CRM system. With Meeting Assistant, you can easily prepare your meetings with various agenda templates. You can take notes, sync everything to Salesforce, and by having this application in your Salesforce workflow, it helps you eliminate manual CRM data entry. You can save time for all the important works and better manage your conversation with customer. How can you get Meeting Assistant? So there are two ways. You can either go to our Salesforce App Exchange page, search for Meeting Assistant. From there, you can easily watch a demo, or you can easily install a 30-day free trial. You can get every information you get there with the pictures and a quick illustration. The second way, you can visit our website at www.meetingassistantapp.com, and from there you can find a lot of information and insights regarding Meeting Assistant product. You can easily watch a demo, read our blogs, or some of our customer success stories. I think they are very useful for you. And now is the demo. I think before we dive into Salesforce and learn about the functionality of Meeting Assistant, I would love to give you a quick overview of Meeting Assistant and the user interface when you have installed it properly in Salesforce. So now I'll be giving the demo in Salesforce Classic. If you have Salesforce in Lightning experience, or you usually use Salesforce on your mobile phone, it should work well with those applications. And if you have installed Meeting Assistant properly, you should see three different tabs, as I can see on my screen now. The first one is Agendas, and the second one is Meeting Assistants. The last one is called Meeting Assistants Salesforce 1. If you mainly use Salesforce on your laptop and your computer, you should only focus on the first two tabs, which are Agenda and Meeting Assistant. And in case you use Salesforce Mobile One application for mobile device, you can pay attention on the Meeting Assistant Salesforce One, because this tab is meant for the usage on mobile devices. So let me show you how the Agenda tab looks like. It basically works as a template library where you can create new, adjust, copy, or store as many agenda as you like. And now returning back to Meeting Assistant, you can easily see the simple user interface. On the left hand side, you can see a list of scheduled meetings, as I see now, where on the right hand side we have the analytics column which displays 3 different report charts that shows all the data regarding the agenda, the meetings for each of your employees. And please remember that these 3 different reports and charts can be easily modified and retrieved from Salesforce data. So if you need to display different reports based on your needs, you should contact your Salesforce administrator to help you fetch out all those information. And if you struggle with any difficulty, you should always contact us, and we are always happy to help. And now let's dive into Salesforce calendar to see how Meeting Assistant integrate well with the Salesforce system there. If you are familiar with the calendar and events functionality in Salesforce, I think it should be very easy for you to follow. But if you are not familiar with it yet, I strongly recommend you, after this webinar, spend just 2 or 3 minutes wandering around the calendar and the event creation in Salesforce. It's very easy. So I have prepared one example meeting for today so that I can use Meeting Assistant to collect meeting notes and to make my meetings more supportive and informative for management purpose, or even for just controlling the customer interactions. Let's check on the exploratory meeting with Kim Harrison that I'm going to have today. So on the event page layout, you can easily see different information regarding this meeting. You can see the subject, the start and end time, which is related to specific objects. Let's say I have here this event will be related to an account, and the person that I'm going to meet with is contacts. And this is Kim Harrison, there's a contact person there. So how does Meeting Assistant work with Calendar Salesforce? If you notice on this area, we have 2 additional sections. The first one is called Meeting Assistant, and the second one is Meeting Notes. These 2 new sections are added by Meeting Assistant to the event page layout, which help you to pre-select the agenda for a specific meeting. It also automatically create a meeting link for your event. So whenever you create an event in Salesforce, Meeting Assistant will help you with the meeting link, which directs you to where you can capture all the notes and even assign a task for yourself or your employee, and simultaneously update your CM data. So now, let's say that you are ready and everything is set up. You're going to meet with Kim Harrison and start collecting the meeting minutes. How you going to do it? There are 3 ways to launch Meeting Assistant and start collecting the notes. The first way is that you can directly access Meeting Assistant from the event with this link. The second way is that you go to Meeting Assistant, clicking on the Show Next Meeting, and you can see that I have scheduled an exploratory meetings, and you can easily access from here. The third way is that you can search for a related objects, for example, a contacts that I have. You can easily search in Salesforce, go to that contact, look at the meetings list that I had right here, and launch it from now. So now we are in the preparation stage of collecting the notes. So let me just remind all of you once again about how Meeting Assistant helps you in the meeting workflow with Salesforce. Meeting Assistant provides you a tool from preparing, capturing, sharing, and managing all of your meetings and your conversation with customer. And we are now in the preparing stage. Looking at the user interface right now, we have separated Meeting Assistant into 3 sections. On the left-hand side,
you can see many action items or the so-called agenda items which you have to go through during the meetings. Under each agenda items, I have been given instructions from my, let's say, sales managers for each action item. And if we start the meeting, under each agenda item, there will be specific questions which are always predefined based on the agenda templates that you have beforehand. In the middle side, we have the details information of the meetings. As you can see, the subject, the time, the date, the attendees, and the meeting durations. You can easily adjust the meeting duration based on your customer schedule, or if something changed suddenly, you can just swiftly input another number or agenda field displays the name of the agenda that I have selected. Uh, if you have a look at this, I have many different agenda templates, but the one that I'm choosing today is the coaching meetings for SMEs. Agenda items will display a couple agenda items which are related to a specific object in Salesforce. If you look at this, I have linked the introduction part to contact person Kim Harrison, and exploration stage to the specific account is her company. And what does it mean? It means that for each agenda item which are linked to a specific contact, all of the information that you input during the meetings will be updated instantly to Salesforce after the meeting. So you don't have to go back to Salesforce every time you finish a meeting just to retype and re-input the information there, because that process is quite boring. And in this way, Meeting Assistant helps you eliminate the times there. On the right hand side, we have the agenda details columns with the description of this agenda. The description has been given in the agenda template so that the sales employee can easily follow. If you expand these sections, you can see how many meetings that you had with this contact person. And if you click on the Show All tab, you can easily see the meeting names, the dates, and status of different meetings before. Another trick I want to show you before we start collecting the notes is that if you want to, let's say, add another person from your company, let's say your colleagues, and you want to share this conversation or want to share this meeting minutes at the end with your employee, you can click on the user list and share with them. Let's say I want to add Tom Mason. He's one of my colleagues. I want to add him here as a resource so that I can easily assign a task or an activity during the meetings. And with this, by doing this, Meeting Assistant instantly create a new task in Salesforce and will notify Tom Mason so that you don't have to do it all again after the meeting, because for some moment you may forget that action. And when you're happy with the attendees and the resource person, you can click done. Now, if you are happy with all the informations when preparing for the meeting, you can just click on start meeting, or if you are not ready, you can just save and start the meeting later. But in this stage, I would like to start it right away. So now we are actually in the meeting, and we are talking with Kim Harrison either in face-to-face or over the phone, or go via the GoToMeetings applications. The first action item, the first agenda item is the introduction, and as you can see, I have one question that is predefined based on the agenda template. It's asked the emails, and I need to update this information from Kim Harrison. It's there is already the information here, As you can see, because, okay, let me just quickly explain how Meeting Assistant works. The applications allows user to retrieve the information from Salesforce and then input the information backward so that they can easily see what's already been there related to a specific object and what need to be updated. And let's say you want to take a extra note in the introduction agenda item. What if you want to do so? I can expand the notes section here so that you can see. There are two sections. The first one is the meeting note, and the second one is called internal meeting note. What does it mean? Meeting Assistant provides user with two different PDF files for the meeting minutes. The one is for your customer and another one is for team member. So let's say that you want to share a couple meeting minutes for your employees, but some of those information shouldn't be visible for your customer. So you may want to type in this area. So let's say I want to say something to Tom. Please do not mention about product B, but product A next time. So that with this note, Tom will know that, okay, next time if he's gonna meet with Kim Harrison, he will just mention and try to sell the product A next time. And you can quite sure that this information will not appear on the final meeting minutes. With this meeting notes sections, if you want your customer also notice about a specific discussion topics or whatever you want to share with your customer, you can easily type in here. And when you are done with it, you can collapse the tabs. The second tab I want to show you is the task. So what can we do with this? Basically, it allows us to assign a task right in Salesforce. Let's say I want to assign a task for Tom Mason. I want him to prepare sell materials for Kim, and this will relate it to Kim Harrison, and I can always specify a due date for Tom so that he know when and what to do with this contact or this task. When you're happy with the task, you can save it. Another thing I want to remind you when taking the notes and updating information, if you're happy with one action item here, you can click accept or skip if you haven't completed the action item. But always, please always click accept so that you can jump to the next agenda items. If you want to skip it, you can always easily switch manually by click on different agenda items on the left hand side right here. And in the second agenda items, I have 3 questions. As you can see here, this is the actually this questions is related to a field, and this field belongs to an object in Salesforce which is called account. So whenever you input the information, let's say the number of employees in her company has increased to 100, and you want to input 100 here, this number will also be updated to the data in CRM related to her company. In the second questions, you can see that I have a multi-select questions. And there is one thing I want to share with you is that Meeting Assistant provides you with different answer type, including the let's say multiple choice, pick list, checkbox, calendar, and also currencies, so that you can easily get an answer from a certain questions and quickly update your CRM. It allows user with mobile devices to quickly answer to specific questions as I mentioned before. There is also a text box so that you can give a further description regarding a certain answer above that in this sections. It works quite similar to the note section as I mentioned before, and the task should be working as similar as the previous stage before. And when you're happy with that, you can click accept. In the third action item here, I also have a slider as an answer for questions so that you can see how easy it should be for the sales rep when they even when they work on the field or they work inside company. I think when you're happy with the notes, you can click accept on different agenda items. You can specify close dates for a specific opportunity or a specific meeting that you want to schedule in the future. I would choose one here randomly. Accept it. And we are now in the summary of the meetings where it displays all of the informations of the meetings with the questions, the answers, the notes for internal and external purposes, also the tasks which have been assigned here. You have the option to share the meeting minutes in PDF file, either for your team as the internal button here, and either for your customer as external. When you click on it, it automatically downloads as the PDF file, and it has the basic templates that we have designed here. But if you ever want to have a specific design template for your company brand identities, you should always feel free to contact us so that we can do a custom development for your company. And I think that's pretty much about Meeting Assistant when you capturing the notes. So what about when you have went through a lot of meetings with different customer? How do you manage those meetings? And if you want to go back to a certain meeting to see what's have been discussed, you can always access from the meeting list right here or search for that contact. Let's say I'm going to search for Kim Harrison, and I can always access that meeting minutes from the meeting list right here related to that records. Just simply click on it and it jump back to the meeting minutes. And that's about it. I think in the next sections is the Q&A. And in this part, I also have with me Mr. Villa Metala. As I mentioned before, he's the co-founder and the vice president of sales at Meeting Assistant. If you have any questions, please feel free to type in the right side in the chat box right there. I have received quite many questions. The first one from one of our attendees today: does Meeting Assistant work in Lightning versions? So that's a very interesting question. So my answer is that yes, of course, Meeting Assistant works both in Salesforce Classics, Lightning Experience, and Salesforce One mobile applications. The second question: does this work with Professional Edition of my Salesforce? Yes, of course. Meeting Assistant works from Professional Edition of Salesforce and above. Another question I've got is that how does cost and the pricing of Meeting Assistant? So basically, we supply our user with monthly and annually planned. With the monthly subscription, you only have to pay $25 per user per month. But with annual subscription, you can save up to 17% per year with only $20 per user per month. I think we are about to run out of time, even though we have a few more questions, and we are also happy to answer that. But please remember that this webinar is also recorded and will be soon available on our webpage. If you have the time, well, we will forward those links to the directly to the blog post, and so that you can easily check what's going on right there.